From the Northway Bank Online Newsroom, I'm Gare McKenzie. This local and regional news update is brought to you by Northway Bank. Get big savings close to home with Northway Bank's Community Sense digital coupon book. Filled with valuable money-saving coupons from hundreds of Northway Bank business customers. Visit northwaybank.com for more info. Northway Bank with 17 locations throughout New Hampshire. The people you know, the bank you trust. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Here's the news. A spokesperson for Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center says a 66-year-old Conway woman remains in critical condition today after she was injured in a crash on Route 16 in Ospey early Friday afternoon. Ospey Police Detective Sergeant Bob King says 18-year-old Nicholas Focus of Amherst, New Hampshire, is charged with DWI after the 2012 Ford pickup truck he was driving southbound allegedly crossed into the northbound lane shortly before 1 o'clock and hit a northbound 2010 Honda Pilot head-on, being driven by 66-year-old Joseph Medore of Conway. It happened about a quarter mile north of the intersection with Route 28, where the speed limit is 40 miles per hour. Medore sustained serious injuries and was treated and has since been released. His wife, Mary Medore, who was riding with him, was airlifted to Dartmouth Hitchcock, where she's listed as critical. Focus was not hurt in the crash, but a passenger of his, 18-year-old Alice Fahey, also of Amherst, was taken to Huggins Hospital in Wolfboro with minor injuries. King says more charges are pending in connection with the incident. The New Hampshire Marine Patrol has identified the 30-year-old man who drowned Saturday afternoon after jumping off a bridge into the Saco River in North Conway as Edward Foster of Gales Ferry, Connecticut. Sergeant Dave Willett says a 911 call came in shortly before 2 o'clock, reporting that Foster and two other people had jumped off a railroad bridge 30 feet above the river and that Foster had failed to surface. Conway Police, North Conway Fire and Rescue, and North Conway Ambulance responded first. The Conway firefighters were called to assist as well. North Conway Fire Chief Pat Priest says the bridge just downstream from the North Conway wastewater treatment plant was difficult to access. He says the river was running fast above its normal level for this time of year, and the three had jumped into water that was about 8 feet deep.
The other access we get to is from the Saco River campground. Either way, it's a hike to get to the trestle. There's any rescue operation, bring your life vest and all that stuff. When we first got there, the subject was not located yet. He was still in the water. There's a bunch of bystanders there swimming around trying to find him, and they found him about 600 feet from the trestle downstream.
That was about 15 minutes after Foster had jumped in. Conway Police Officer Dominic Torch immediately began performing CPR on Foster, and he was taken by Conway Ambulance from Saco River Campground to Memorial Hospital in North Conway, but he could not be revived and he was pronounced deceased. Priest says he doesn't think people normally jump off that bridge. The Marine Patrol has not released any further details about the incident, including the identities of the two other jumpers or whether potential charges may be filed in connection with the incident. In Maine news, federal railroad officials say they'll be in Maine this week to inspect tracks belonging to the railroad involved in a runaway train that killed dozens of people and leveled much of a small town's downtown in Quebec. U.S. Representatives Mike Michaud and Shelley Pingree said yesterday the FRA will inspect the Montreal, Maine, and Atlantic Railways equipment, operations, and track in Maine using people and a track inspection rail car. The inspections come in response to the July 6th derailment in Lac Megantic, about 10 miles from the Maine border. Michaud and Pingree say oil shipments through Maine to an oil refinery in New Brunswick have skyrocketed in the past year, and Mainers need to know the tracks on which the tank cars travel are safe. In sports, New Hampshire Fisher Cat hurler Sean Nolan pitched for a career-high 8 innings, and Melky Cabrera hit a 2-run homer in his rehab start with the Cats, as the Cats shut out the Portland Sea Dogs 5-0 last night in Manchester. Boston Red Sox slugger David Ortiz and second baseman Dustin Pedroia represented their team yesterday during the All-Star Media Day festivities. And Yoenis Cespedes of the Oakland A's edged 20-year-old Washington Nationals outfielder Bryce Harper to win the 2013 Home Run Derby. The Major League All-Star Game tonight at Citi Field in New York. In the weather today, partly sunny with a chance of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Highs in the upper 80s with light winds. Partly cloudy in the evening tonight, then clearing. Patchy fog after midnight. Lows of the lower 60s, mid-60s in southern Carroll County with light winds. And partly sunny Wednesday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Humid with highs in the upper 80s. From the Northway Bank Online Newsroom, I'm Gary McKenzie.